Hello and welcome to all you Geminis. Welcome for your monthly horoscope for Gemini for June 2015. And this is a very interesting month for the Geminis because on the one hand there happens a lot and Geminis normally like that there is a bit going on, a bit of everything, and that the speed is a bit up there. Although there is also still the Mercury retrograde. Your ruler is still retrograde up until the 12th, I think. So be patient. Things will go faster after that period of time. Three things are happening that are quite important for you. Still, as last month, so much activity in your sign. Mercury is there. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. But also, another thing that is going on is a very positive aspect between Jupiter, Uranus and Venus. And that's very positive for you because it's in fire signs. In fire and air, they support each other. And it's a very fun houses as well. And then there's the Sun and Mars in your sign. That's I'm going to mention as well. But let's get started with the best aspect, which is for quite a long time. It's not only going to happen during this month, it is also going to have an impact on the next month and July and August. And that is the very positive aspect of Venus in Leo, and that is going to be your third house of communication. And Jupiter is there as well for quite a while. And then that has a trine or makes a trine with Uranus in your 11th house. What does it mean for you Geminis? Well, Uranus is all of a sudden, and it's also exciting and liberating. That's the energy of Uranus. Jupiter is expansion, possibilities, opportunities. And Venus is love, but also values, what you like, what you don't like. It's about choices. And this is connected in the 3rd house and the 11th house. These are your communication houses. These are your friends' houses. So for those who are single, you might... I'm so excited that I can't speak anymore. A friend can turn into something more than a friend. This is already typical with the Venus in a trine with Uranus because that's the energy of the friendliness. But it's in your 11th house of friends. So that's one possibility. Secondly, it could also mean that something with the internet you're doing, maybe for your work or as a hobby, and it expands. Maybe you can turn a hobby into a job. And that is because of your networking, because the 3rd house and the 11th house is network houses. So it could be there as well. And you will love to communicate, so everything that is 3rd house, which is communication, which is also short trips, which is things that you learn. It could be a course that you will be taking, and you will make a lot of friends there because Jupiter is also a lot. So this is the positive energy that is going on for you. There are different levels when we explain the houses, so it's not going to be the same for everyone, but these are some examples that I give. It can also mean that a romance that starts through the internet as well. And you start dating and seeing each other in real life. So, but whatever it is, it's a very positive energy. It could also mean that with siblings that you do something very lovely, or with friends or with siblings, or in your environment that you are up to something. You having a party or doing something in your neighborhood, and that is good for the neighborhood. And it's something, it could also be a political thing because Uranus in the 11th is a bit, it could be that you do something on a social level, but you really enjoy it as well. So this is very positive energy, and especially because it's going to be important for you because it could also be a study. I already said that. So something new that you start studying, or even a book that you're reading and it changes you. It changes your thinking. because the third house is the way that you think. Maybe you're going to be very poetic as well with the Venus and the Jupiter, and being very very positive person in your words. Even whilst things are going on in your life, you are able to do that. So hang on to it. Another thing is that the asteroid Juno, which is the asteroid of commitment, is also passing through that third house where Venus and Jupiter is. So it conjuncts it as well. So there is another layer of, this is really important, this is really meaningful. This is something that is going to have long-lasting consequences that are good. So that's good. And the other thing is the Mercury retrograde so Mercury is in your sign, which is so crucial. And it's squaring up to Neptune 3 times the Mercury. So at the beginning of the month, the first 2 days, then and then also it was actually already going on last month, and it continues. And it also has a peak around the 22nd and the 23rd of the month. Those days, so the 1st and the 2nd of the month and the 22nd and the 23rd, don't commit yourself too much around those days, because you won't have all the information. So that's with the Mercury there. It's about you. It's you that are going to be maybe a bit confused. I don't think it's too bad at all for you, but just know that sometimes the information is right in front of you, but you don't see it. You don't want to see it. That's another thing. Or you simply don't see it. And to commit yourself, especially also in relationships, it's a good thing to do that. Important contracts and all of that. It's a good thing to do that after actually the end of the month, if you can postpone it. Of course, if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. That's life. But it's just a suggestion. Another thing, and last but not least, is Mars and Mars and the Sun conjuncting each other. The first 2 weeks of the month, there is this conjunction of Mars and the Sun in your first house. Now, this is a very good thing, but you know, everything has a negative side. The thing you really don't want to do is to be overly aggressive and overly expressing what you want and what you want to do. So keep that in mind. If you feel a bit frustrated, go around the block or do some sports with this energy, because you don't want to hurt other people. Deliberately or non-deliberately, because you just had a couple of days of frustrational energy, because this is energy that you want to get things done and you want to force your will upon others. That's basically it. But in a good way. If there is something that you haven't said to an important person in your life for weeks or months, now the first 2 weeks can be the time that you have the courage to do so. But do it in a gentle way, but do it. And maybe if you think you are going to be too emotional, you can write it. You can write it down. But whatever it is, this to use this energy in a positive way, it's courage. It's courage. It's something that you don't dare to do, but you know that you really, really need to do it. It's that kind of energy. It has to do with you versus other people. So if you think that you need to redraw the lines with you and an important other person in your life, do it. But do it gently, and I think you will, because the Mercury still goes retrograde, as you know. That's you still making up your mind. And so that's very positive if you can shift it towards something of courage. So that's a pretty important month. There is also a new moon in your sign. A new moon in your sign on 25 degrees of Gemini. So if you've got planets around 25 degrees, or if you have a birthday around, happy birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, by the way. But if you've got planets around, let's say, if you are born around the 16th, 17th, the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th of June, or planets around 25 degrees of of Gemini, you will feel this the most because this is your new moon. New moon is new start. This is good. It's like your new year, you could say, with fresh thoughts and a lot of things that are concluding, and you can start afresh. That's the new moon. On what day is it? Let's have a look. The new moon will be on the 16th. So, and the full moon, by the way, will be on the 2nd. So, and it's in your opposite house. So there is some clearance coming up in relationships as well, if that has been a bit of non-clear or a bit foggy. Thank you very much, you Geminis, for watching, and see you next month. Bye-bye.